Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeremy Bridges. This is Tyler Russell, and today we're here to talk to you about um, our growth in our industry in the Human Resource Management Department and what we've done through the past 3 quarters. Up front, we're going to talk about the budget. Our budget has been $1.4 million of what we had for our annual budget, and what we spent here today is just over $1 million, keeping us right on target at the $350,000 for each quarter that we need in order to process all our expenditures. And as you can see, here's a breakdown of our budget for the 3rd quarter. Our hiring cost has been relatively low, $388,000, which is the highest part of our budget. But as you can see, we've had no overtime cost. Cost of wage increases has been $130,000. Our benefits have increased by $284,000. Training expenses, which we've invested a bunch of money into in order to increase a lot of the other parts of our budget, and that's $389,000. Our program expense, we've implemented as many programs as we possibly can in order to increase a lot of the goals that we've set out to do. Our incident costs, we had one last quarter at $3,000, and of course we've been purchasing our survey costs in order to watch the rest of the industry and see where they're putting their funds into and make sure that we stay on top of ours as well. So the total cost is just over $1 million, and as I said, our remaining balance is $350,000 for Q4, which is right on target with where we need to be. When we began, our turnover rate was 9.8%, so we set out with a goal to lower our turnover rate by 4% through the end of year 1. So we wanted to decrease it by at least 1% each quarter. As you can see, up to quarter 3, we're at 6.2%. So we're above where we needed to be, and we're going to be below our goal that we set out at 5.8%. So as you can see, we only have another 0.5% to go. Tyler's going to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that we've done to actually decrease these numbers here.
So the first thing I want to talk about in regards to lowering the turnover rate is the employee benefits we put together. As of the 3rd quarter, we have increased our employee benefits by 3.1%. And as you can see in quarter 3, now our benefit cost is 23.1% of payroll. Some of the benefits we offered our employees are additional vacation days, also an employee-funded pension, dental and eye care, legal services, as well as tuition reimbursement. Next, I'm going to talk about morale. In quarter 3, we did see a slight drop in our morale, which is okay. It was a bit unnerving because, as you can see from the start, we did have 2 solid quarters of increase. But when you look at it, the 60 out of 100 is very good, especially considering we're above the industry average, which is 56 out of 100. Next, we're going to talk about the females and minorities in our company. Very early on, we decided we wanted to increase both the amount of females and minorities we had in our company. As you can see, for females, we started at 13% at the beginning when we took over, and we had an increase in quarter 2 and quarter 3. Our goal is about 20%, and I would say at the end of quarter 3, we're right on track with that. We are at 18% females in the company compared to this industry average of 13%. Similarly, with minorities, we had a goal of 15%. Once again, increases in quarter 2 and quarter 3, right on par with where we need to be. Right now, we're at 12% minorities working in the company compared to the industry average of 9.
So our grievances have steadily came down since quarter 1, when we initially took over with the new change in management and implementing a lot of new programs and different funds into our training expenses. We anticipated seeing a little bit of an uptick in our grievances, but since then our grievance procedure program has really shown that it's decreased down from originally taking over from 31 down to 21, and the industry average is sitting at 29, so we are well below the industry average in our grievance program. The accident rate has steadily declined as well. We've stayed below the industry average. Right now the industry average is at 350 in quarter 3, and we're at 308. Largely, this is contributed to having a full-time safety manager. In order to do this, we had to put $12,000 per quarter into our safety program. And what we actually did is we increased that up to about 20,000 so we could spend more money into the safety training program, and this is a large contribution to having our numbers so low compared to the industry average. Next, I want to talk to you about productivity. Our productivity has steadily increased and has remained above the industry average since we've taken over. Largely, this is contributed to promoting our employees from within. We keep that experience. They move up in the chain from levels 1 to levels 2 or 2 to 3, and that continues to be significant in our productivity. We've increased our expenses in our training programs as well, and as you can see, we're sitting currently at 209 for our productivity costs.
Next, I'm going to talk about our quality. As you can see, when we took over, we were average in the industry, 50 out of 100. Since then, we've had a steady rise, and in quarter 3, we saw our biggest rise in our quality index. We went up 5 points on that index, and we attribute this to last quarter we put in $40,000 to add a formal quality control system. On top of that, in the past, we had put $25,000 into our quality to develop a total quality management program. Like I said, we're at 61 on the quality index, which is well above the average industry average of 55 on the quality index. Next, we're going to talk about labor cost per unit. When we took over, we were at 59.1, and we saw 2 solid quarters of increase in the labor cost. It was a bit unnerving, but with the new management system coming in, we expected there to be some increases. But in quarter 3, we saw our first decrease in that labor cost. Now we're sitting at $59.35 per unit for our labor costs, and once again, we're well below the industry average. Last thing I'm going to talk about is the absenteeism. When we took over, the company was at nearly 500 days of absenteeism per quarter. That was the industry average as well, and one of the things we set out to do was to drop this. Once we did this, we felt we could get other things in control. And once again, over the 3 quarters, we had a steady drop. At the end of quarter 3, our company is experiencing only 329 days of absenteeism compared to the industry average of 392 days.
We thank you for your time, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to meet with us afterwards. We'll take those at that time. Thank you.
Thank you.